This is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Our top story today, the disturbing online shooting out of Cleveland. The manhunt is now intensifying for a man accused of posting a gruesome video on Facebook of him gunning down an elderly man. As ABC's Emily Rao shows us, authorities across the Rust Belt are calling on communities to be on alert.
A plea from Cleveland police this morning after a man posted this alarming video online.
Found somebody I'm about to kill. I want to kill this guy right here. He's an old dude.
The FBI and Cleveland police on a desperate manhunt for Steve Stevens, whom they believe is responsible for a random act of cold-blooded murder. Stevens claiming he's killed more than a dozen others, but police say there is no evidence supporting that. 5 states now on high alert. Authorities say they received a ping from his cell phone detected near Erie, Pennsylvania. Stevens is believed to be driving a white Ford Fusion.
Obviously, he's got deep issues, and we want to get him off the streets as soon as possible.
On Sunday afternoon, Stevens allegedly approached 74-year-old Robert Godwin Sr. armed with a gun.
All right, can you do me a favor? Can you say Joy Lane?
What?
Can you say Joy Lane?
Joy Lane?
Yeah. She's the reason why this is about to happen to you.
Then the trigger was pulled, killing Godwin. The homicide too disturbing for us to show. That woman, Joy Lane, whose name was mentioned, issuing a statement saying Steve really is a nice guy. He is generous with everyone he knows. He was kind and loving to me and my children. This is a very difficult time for me and my family. Godwin's family devastated.
I hate he's gone. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's not real.
Feel like my heart is gonna stop.
Cleveland police initially made contact with Stevens after the incident, but attempts to reconnect with him have failed. Emily Rao, ABC News, Cleveland, Ohio.
Closer to home, a trauma alert in Venice this morning after a man falls from a tire store. It happened around 9 o'clock this morning at Tires Plus store on North Venice Bypass. First responders say he fell about 2 stories to the ground. He was flown to a trauma center for treatment, and at last check, the victim was in stable condition. A heads up to drivers heading into Central Florida. At least 3 major roads across Central Florida were closed this morning due to poor visibility. Smoke from wildfires resulted in the closure of a stretch of State Road 528, that's near Orlando, State Road 407 near Cocoa, and State Road 44 in Lake County. Officials have been fighting a wildfire that cropped up across Central Florida over the weekend. At least 126,000 acres have burned across the state since the start of the year. South Florida water managers are asking residents to conserve after issuing a water shortage warning. The warning includes a reminder for homeowners to follow lawn watering rules. Water officials say if the shortage persists, they may consider mandatory restrictions. This winter, South Florida has received less than half, 44%, of its typical average rainfall for so far this year. And we're well below normal here on the Suncoast. Meteorologist John Scalzi joins us now, and it's been a dry winter.
It had really dry winter, and
yeah.
I think if some of those restrictions go into effect, which is quite likely they may, it's really going to impact some of the agriculture and in the interior sections of Florida. We'll see how that goes. For us, we're looking at, again today, dry weather once again. We started off with a little bit of cloud cover around and, you know, thought maybe we might see some of that, but of course it turns out that we don't. As we start off the work week, will be dry. A lot of blue sky out there currently, and our Van Wezel webcam showing that, but we do have some building clouds back to the west. We've even had a spot or two of what we call convergence rain showers around Lake Okeechobee. These are winds coming on shore that are slowed by friction with the surface, and it creates kind of a upward motion in the atmosphere that produces a really brief shower. These do not add to the rainfall total whatsoever. Of course, accompanying them a little bit of cloud cover, but not much. So lots of sunshine around today. We'll put in about a 10% chance of some rainfall in the same location that we saw yesterday, which was around the mouth of Charlotte Harbor down through Fort Myers. And really, even there, the total rainfall amount's not all that great either. Same situation again today, not all that great. And most of us will not see any. Daytime highs again be warm in the mid-80s. We'll talk about the forecast coming up in just a few. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. State transportation officials will be hosting a public hearing tomorrow on possible locations for 2 new rest areas along Interstate 75 in Charlotte County. FDOT representatives will host that meeting beginning at 5 p.m. at the Charlotte Harbor Event and Conference Center. That's in Punta Gorda. No formal presentation is planned, but those interested can show up at any time between 5 and 7 p.m. to look over proposed plans for those rest areas. There will be no formal presentation again for that presentation. A change in trial date for a Sarasota County man accused of murder. Investigators say Robert Kane shot and killed his sister's ex-boyfriend in March of last year. His father, James Kane, was convicted as an accessory to that murder. James Kane lied to police and attempted to cover up the murder to look like self-defense. Robert Kane's court date is now set for September 5th, and James Kane is expected to testify against his son. Manatee County Sheriff's Office is up for reassessment for accreditation this week. During that assessment process, all aspects of the Corrections Bureau will be examined, including policies and procedures and management operations. To receive reaccreditation, the Sheriff's Office must meet criteria for hundreds of set standards. The last reassessment was back in 2014. An interactive exhibit telling the story of Anne Frank is now happening at the Selby Library in downtown Sarasota. The exhibit is on loan from the Anne Frank Center for Mutual Respect in Manhattan. It's sponsored by the Jewish Federation of Sarasota Manatee, and it's free to the public. Visitors can live Anne's story vicariously from her birth in 1929 through her death at a concentration camp in 1945.
We're able to bring, so far, about 1,400 students are scheduled to come through this exhibit. What's really compelling about focusing on Frank is we're focusing on one child. When we say that 6 million people died, that number is huge. When we focus on one and we focus on the diary of a young girl who was in hiding, we're focusing on the story that can then transcend multiple age groups and many people.
Such a powerful story. The exhibit will remain at Sarasota Selby Library until May 27th. ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now in the studio. And Richard, a very positive start to a new week on Wall Street.
Scott, welcome back. We needed your help last week. Where were you then? But indeed, we have a triple-digit gain to start the week. It has been since last Thursday. The market was open because of the Good Friday holiday. But this week should be very interesting. 13% of the stocks that make up the Standard & Poor's 500 index will be announcing earnings this week, and that will start after the close this afternoon. So we'll see where things go. But we have been in positive territory all day long. And let's take a look at where we stand right now. And it looks pretty darn good. There you see the Dow Jones Industrial Average up by 113 points. Decimal 55, remember that because I'm going to come back to that. Decimal 55, and right now at 20,566.70 on volume of 404 million shares. The NASDAQ also enjoying a good day, up 0.6%, almost 35 points at 5,839.99. That on volume of 592 million shares. And the S&P, guess what? Up decimal 55, almost 13 points, exactly the same as the Dow at 2,341.69. Well, the market's been up. It's been a tough morning for drug maker Eli Lilly and Company. Lilly, which has been around since 1876 and one would say the pride of Indianapolis, Indiana, today saw its shares go down sharply, and the reason for it, the FDA refused to approve its drug for rheumatoid arthritis. Many felt this would be a blockbuster drug for Lilly and would have been $1 billion in sales by the year 2020. But they said they needed more testing, they needed more work on exactly what the correct dosage should be, and we're just going to have to see how it works out. But so far this year, shares of Eli Lilly have been up 16%. But Scott, that was before today when they've been down 3.5%. So we'll have to see where it shakes out. But a tough morning for Eli Lilly, that's for certain.
But as you saw, a good start on Wall Street, and you'll be back at 5 with the closing numbers.
And hopefully we'll still have a triple-digit gain. How does that sound?
Sounds good. We'll see you then. Thank you, Richard.
You're welcome.
Time now to head over to the kitchen and check in for the first time with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher. Hi, Judy. How are you?
Well, hi, Scott. Welcome back after the Easter break. You know, waffles are not just for breakfast anymore. They're savory and they're abundant. And what I'm going to teach you today is how to use your leftovers from Passover and Easter to make it into a complete meal. We're going to use a sweet potato waffle and pancake mix, make it savory by slicing up my leftover brisket, broil it down with some Italian cheese and au jus, and it's really going to be delicious with the sour cream cilantro sauce. So stay with me and get your leftovers ready because we'll be cooking in just a few minutes.
ABC 7 News at 7 weeknights.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce?
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by one on any or all numbers and still win.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So it really is a beautiful day outside. A lot of sunshine out there. Fair weather skies for the most part. Temperatures again on the warm side. We're at 81 degrees right now, which is about our normal high for this time of year. So obviously it's going to be a warm day. We're going to get above that 81 degree mark. Well on our way to mid 80s once again this afternoon. Dew points are still comfortably low, coming in at 56 degrees. Love that. If you have those dew points in the 50s, everybody will agree that that feels pretty comfortable. So even though our air temperatures are above average, with those lower dew point values, our relative humidity remains at 42%, which is very comfortable. We'll probably see those dew point values begin to creep back up there into the 60s as we head into the end of the week. And the reason is that right now winds are calm, but they've been kind of east or northeast throughout the day. We're going to watch those winds because they're going to be switching. We'll talk about that in a second. Pressure is high. We have a lot of sunshine mixed with fair weather clouds. 79 Wauchula, 81 in Arcadia, Myakka, Parrish, Bradenton, 80 degrees at Lakewood Ranch. We have 80 degrees in Venice, 78 degrees in Inglewood, 80 degrees in Northport, 84 degrees in Punta Gorda, and Longboat Key coming in, of course, cooler at 75 degrees right on the water there. So we didn't get much rainfall over the weekend, did we? No, we sure didn't. Around the mouth of Charlotte Harbor, we had trace amounts, but really that's about it. Otherwise, we watched the drought indexes continue to rise. And now in Manatee County, we have elevated risk up to the fire danger index risk of a wildfire starting and needing suppression is now up to very high. Now, I will tell you that yesterday, this is a forecast map. The actual conditions come out a little bit later in the day after they've assessed the actual forecasts and the actual conditions as we progress through the afternoon. And yesterday and for the last several days, when those real-time forecasts came out, not these forecast ones, but the real-time observations came out, Manatee County was in the extreme range. And so were several other areas across the state of Florida. So I'm looking at this, and what I'm thinking to myself is, we're looking at a best-case scenario here. And the actual conditions or probably even a little bit worse. That's the bad news. Here's the good news. We don't have any red tide. It's pretty good, actually. The offshore wind flow continues again today, and all of these green flags, indications from the Mote Marine spotters who have gone out to these beaches and sampled the air quality and seen how it is affecting those folks who are at the beaches at the moment of the observation, are saying that nothing is out there. And the red tide observations of red tide in the water that came out last week showed that a lot of places are now looking at either very low or absent red tide concentrations. Centennial Park, City Island, two places where the red tide concentration was a little bit higher, but still most everywhere not so bad. Titan radar quiet. Not seeing much here, and don't anticipate seeing much, because not only is the air dry at the surface, but it's also dry aloft. So you've got a column of fairly dry air. Tough to get any kind of rain showers going. You need some rainfall, you need some moisture in the atmosphere, and you need a little kicker in the atmosphere to get the winds to rise before you can get any rainfall. So we don't have either of those things really today. A little bit of cloud cover, as I mentioned, coming in. We had some localized breezes, and you have some issues associated with the winds coming onshore over on the other coast that have produced some very brief showers. But even those, I don't think we're going to see much of here. Maybe around the mouth of Charlotte Harbor, you might see a sprinkle or two. Deep South looks good traveling today. Don't worry about the Atlanta airport or the Raleigh-Durham or the Charlotte airport. That's all okay. Back to the west, there could be some trouble in a line of showers stretching from Texas into the open plains as little upper-level energy moves over that region and brings the chance at some stronger storms. But that's of no impact to us here locally on the Suncoast, where we'll enjoy fair weather, looks like right into the weekend. Now, by the end of the weekend, the high-pressure ridge bringing us our fair skies is going to reposition itself and twist the winds just a little, such that we could get a more southeasterly flow, and that'll bring moisture in, and that accounts for the 20% chance of showers that I put in the forecast. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. The 121st Boston Marathon happening right now, and research into marathon running shows that while many people who show up at the start line of a marathon are well trained, the majority of people run for recreation, and researchers have found that if you are closer to 50 years old, you are even more likely to finish the race than even a 20-year-old. The reason? Marathoners reflect a level of mental toughness, and that toughness appears to grow into middle age. After the Easter weekend, many families are wondering what to do with those leftover colored eggs. You may be tempted to just throw them out because of the belief that eggs contain too much cholesterol. But a registered dietitian explains why eggs are a part of a healthy diet.
There is no longer this strong link that we once thought there was of cholesterol in the diet linking with cholesterol in our body. And so once that was taken away, we could actually kind of take the veil off and look at some of the real benefits of eggs.
Eggs have minerals like iodine and selenium, which are not always easy to find in the standard American diet. And while egg whites are chock full of vitamins, the yolks are okay to eat too. Egg yolks are a good source of vitamin A and D. Well, for many people, allergy season can mean misery, but doctors say you don't necessarily have to give up and suffer through it. Marcia Shade has more.
Springtime may bring beautiful flowers, green grass, and budding trees, but for allergy sufferers, it can mean weeks of feeling lousy from the pollen.
I typically wake up in the morning, have kind of a scratchy throat, my sinuses are filled up, and a lot of times my eyes are swollen and red.
Allergy medicine may help with mild to moderate symptoms.
If you're suffering from runny nose, sneezing, and itchy eyes, I will recommend an antihistamine medication for your symptoms. But if nasal congestion is an issue, then it's a decongestant that may be more helpful.
And if you think ahead and start these meds before you even experience symptoms, you may keep them away or reduce their severity. When these efforts don't seem to be helping, it may be time for allergy shots.
Allergy shots are nice in that they help you build an immunity to the things you're allergic to, so that over time we see a decrease in symptoms.
It can also help to keep the windows closed and the AC on to reduce your exposure to pollen. Another tip, take a shower when you get in if you've been outdoors for a while. This will wash away excess pollen. For today's Health Minute, I'm Martha Shade.
Aspirin is a well-known pain reliever, but new research has found another potentially life-saving use for the drug. Harvard University has found that regular doses of aspirin may reduce the risk of dying from cancer. Of the more than 100,000 people studied, men who took aspirin regularly had a 15% lower cancer mortality risk than those who did not. For women, it was 7% lower. In the study, the largest impact for both sexes was with colorectal cancer. Coming up in your Suncoast News, it looks like water, but it is not. The new beverage that's created by a method its creators say has never been used before. And why faster than the interstate and maybe even air travel? We'll show you the possible future of transportation.
Sarasota Magazine and PNC Wealth Management present the Best of Sarasota Soiree at Selby Gardens on April 24th.
It's an evening to sip, savor, and celebrate Sarasota Manatee's Best of Winners.
This year will be full of Warhol-inspired surprises, entertainment, and a tribute to those representing the best in our community.
Come join ABC7 for all the fun.
Get your tickets today at sarasotamagazine.com.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
At Bacon Furniture's spring clearance event, we've slashed prices on our most popular styles. Look for the red balloons for the biggest savings. Save 30, 50, even 70% off throughout the showroom. Bedrooms, dining rooms, sofas, chairs, recliners, and so much more. All at the lowest prices of the season. Don't miss the spring clearance event going on now only at Bacon's Furniture and Design in Sarasota. Nobody beats Bacon's.
Everyone loves a bright and cheerful smile. Not everyone can find the dental care they need and can afford. Now there's a place nearby where anyone can receive professional quality dental care at an affordable cost. The LECOM School of Dental Medicine in Lakewood Ranch is now accepting patients. You will receive your care in comfortable, state-of-the-art treatment rooms. To schedule your appointment, please call the LECOM Dental Group practices, 941-405-1600. We will be happy to see you smiling again.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
First time ever, this Saturday, April 22nd, 7 p.m. DeSoto Speedway. Cox Chevrolet's Night of Destruction, presented by attorney James Carter. School bus, figure eight racing, the Gunslinger Monster Truck, a demolition derby, and much more. Tickets on sale now. Go to tourofdestruction.com for info. Thanks to Steps Towing. Be there.
Need a coffee pick-me-up but hate the stains the drink leaves behind in your teeth? Well, a new brew may be your answer. It's called CLR-CFF. Its British-based creators say it's the first colorless coffee on the market. The transparent coffee will do wonders for your teeth, as that dark color of other coffees tend to leave stains. Coffee is available for purchase online, but it's not cheap. A 2-pack costs about $7.50. Imagine traveling faster than a passenger airplane but never really taking off the ground. That's the idea behind the Hyperloop, a potential future mode of transportation. The Hyperloop can take up to 40 people at a time, traveling at speeds up to 750 miles an hour. No Hyperloop route has been built anywhere so far, but Dubai is the top contender to build the world's first one, possibly by the year 2021. Unusual sights are nothing new in Las Vegas, but a bull on the loose likely shocked some residents there Easter morning. People were asked to stay inside. Traffic was delayed as Las Vegas police and others worked to wrangle the bull and force it into a trailer. They were eventually successful in that effort, and fortunately no one was hurt. More than 100 kids with special needs and their families came out for a huge Easter egg hunt Sunday at an Oregon golf course. Smiling kids raced across the course as that hunt began.
The golf course has over 600 eggs on it right now, so it's speckled, but once we let the kids loose, those will disappear pretty quick.
I bet they didn't last long. The Mobility Impaired Golf Association provides free golf lessons for kids with disabilities. Let's get back over to the kitchen now and check in again with Chef Judy Gallagher. Judy?
I'm really excited because I love waffles and I use them more and more instead of using bread or a potato to incorporate in a savory meal, and it's trending all across the country. So you're going to notice that anywhere from fine dining straight down to the casual, it's more than just chicken and waffles. So I'm going to start with Bruce's sweet potato mix. It's a great base to use for pancakes or waffles, and we're going to add 2 farm fresh eggs. And if you ever wonder, is it worth spending the extra money on eggs, look at the orange color of that. It's so bright and fresh, and that's what you're really looking for. So we're going to add 2 tablespoons of oil. It basically is 1 tablespoon of oil for each cup of mix that you're going to use. And there we go, 1 1/3 cups water. And you can really kind of you can guess the consistency of the batter pretty quickly. Whenever I'm making the batter, I usually let it sit for about 5 minutes just so it can rise just a little bit, and it will make for a fluffier product. So this is about just where we want it to be. Make sure you use food spray on your waffle iron no matter how much they say it's nonstick. You're going to need it. So I heat my waffle iron for about 10 minutes, and that's going to be good. Now you may have turkey at home left over from the holiday. Take the skin off. Ham is going to be perfect, just if there's whole cloves, you want to remove that. And whatever gravy, au jus, if you have horseradish sauce, that's going to be fantastic to serve with dipping. For me, I had brisket left over from Passover, so I have the au jus from it, which is going to be great. When you are cooking and serving brisket, and don't worry, we'll have my recipe for brisket up later on today on mysuncoast.com. But what you want to do is, I always cook brisket the day before. It freezes beautifully, by the way. It takes about 3 hours. Put a heavy plate on top, let it sit in the refrigerator overnight, and then you're going to cut against the grain. So as you can see, and you sometimes have to turn when you're cutting, but you want to cut against the grain because it'll be too tough. It'll just be chewy. So these are really good slices that have come out for our particular waffles. So there we go. We're going to dip them in the au jus in just a few minutes just to get a little bit of the chill out, but really not have it too wet. And then I'm going to start making up my waffles. So when I come back, let's get moving because we have some more taste to add to this great dish.
I'm Alan Cohn. The tax deadline is nearly here. Tuesday is your final chance to file, but will there be major tax reform in our future?
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
I got some really great ribeyes, but my old grill died.
We got a lot of grills here. I show Clay a 3-burner with stainless steel grates. We'll even set it up and deliver it for him.
Ace is the place where you'll feel like you're in grill heaven. Only you won't run into your old grill. That would be awkward.
I'm gonna need more ribeyes.
Don't miss these April Red Hot Buys. 6 convenient Sarasota locations and now open in Bradenton, Northport, and soon Osprey.
Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Nobody beats Subaru in service, quality, vehicle quality, and overall quality. And ALG named Subaru the 2017 top brand for residual value. Now lease the most fuel-efficient vehicle in its class, a new Subaru Outback for just $229 a month. Or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. Vice President Mike Pence is declaring an end to what he calls a policy of strategic patience on North Korea. The vice president making a surprise visit to the demilitarized zone on his trip to South Korea. Tensions are high after a failed missile test over the weekend and expectations that a nuclear test by North Korea may be next. ABC's Megan Hughes has the latest.
Vice President Mike Pence visiting the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea, catching a glimpse of hostile territory after North Korea's latest failed missile launch.
There was a period of strategic patience, but the era of strategic patience is over.
Meeting with South Korea's acting president, Pence warning that President Donald Trump considers a military response to still be on the table.
The world witnessed the strength and resolve of our new president in actions taken in Syria and Afghanistan. North Korea would do well not to test his resolve.
President Trump at the White House Easter egg roll this morning was asked if he had a message for North Korea.
You gotta behave.
U.S. commanders say the medium-range ballistic missile blew up almost immediately after launch this weekend. An embarrassment for North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. And there's speculation a U.S. cyber attack may have contributed to its failure, though the White House isn't commenting.
There's a very strong belief that the Americans, through cyber methods, have been successful on several occasions in interrupting these sort of tests and making them fail.
But threats remain. Hours before that launch, the dictator flaunted in a massive military parade what appeared to be new and sizable intercontinental ballistic missiles. As North Korea prepares a 6th nuclear test, the Trump administration is looking to China to use its muscle for change, or else.
If China is unable to deal with North Korea, the United States and our allies will.
The vice president's next stop, Japan, where the North Korean threat will remain at the top of the agenda. Megan Hughes, ABC News, Washington.
Well, this is the first day on the job for new Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch. Gorsuch on the bench today for 2 weeks of oral arguments that include a significant religious liberty case, the outcome of which could make it easier to use state money to pay for private religious schooling in many states. Last week, the justices held their regular closed-door conference to discuss pending petitions. Gorsuch did not participate, presumably because he needed time to adjust. States are beginning to outline new ways to evaluate their schools, mixing traditional measures like test scores with things like physical fitness and whether children feel safe there. The plans are required under a new federal education law that takes effect in the coming school year. Measures being considered touch on issues like chronic absenteeism, college readiness, and whether the school is a welcoming place. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos has the final say on these plans. She has said her goal is state and local flexibility in education and indicated she might use the whole process to advance school choice. A woman is arrested after jumping over a temporary barrier outside of the White House fence. U.S. Secret Service agents say it happened Sunday afternoon on the north side of the White House. The woman jumped the bike rack style barrier outside the fence around the White House grounds. The woman was later arrested and charged with unlawful entry. At this time, it's not known why that woman jumped the barrier. John is back with a look at our Monday weather, and it pretty much like we've seen recently, huh?
I'll tell you what, where we are right now, we are getting wafts from Chef Judy's kitchen, and it is hard to concentrate. It smells so good in here.
I know.
Oh, my goodness. But yes, we're dry, and we will be dry again today, and probably throughout the next 4 or 5 days for sure, and probably even the next 7 days. But Certainly the next couple of days. But boy, is it beautiful. Low relative humidity out there really is nice. If we just didn't have this 7-inch rainfall deficit, I would have no worries whatsoever with just kicking back and enjoying those blue skies and comfortable conditions out there. The winds will probably be a little bit less than they were 24 hours ago. That'll probably be the major difference. And so probably get a few showers down to the south around Fort Myers. We had a couple of showers try to pop up there around Lake Okeechobee. That died out pretty quickly, though. Really didn't add any kind of rainfall to the drought situation down there. You can see the cloud cover kind of trying to build. We started off the morning with a few clouds in the Gulf, and then they dissipated away, and now we're getting those building clouds in inland areas. The forecast for the afternoon calls for that slightest little chance of a shower to our south. Not necessarily in our area, but from Port Gorda south, particularly around Fort Myers, I think is the best chance of some rainfall today. For us, mix of sun and fair weather clouds, daytime highs above average in the mid-80s, and pretty dry conditions in terms of relative humidity. Very comfortable indeed. Talk all about that forecast coming up in a few, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. Sunday chaos at the Coney Island Amusement Park. Screaming crowds race in all directions after what police are calling false reports of gunshots being fired. The stampede was set off after an apparent dispute among some teenagers with bottles thrown near some of the park's rides. Police rushed to the scene, gradually restored the peace among families with children and thousands of others who were enjoying a warm spring day on the boardwalk. Several people were treated for minor injuries. A man police believed attacked and murdered a young Google executive is now behind bars. Angelo Colon Ortiz is being held at a $10 million bail. Last August, Google employee Vanessa Marcotte went for a jog during the day near her mother's home in Massachusetts and never returned. Police say it was Marcotte herself who gave investigators the critical clue they needed. She put up a fight, getting her assailant's DNA under her fingernails. Police say Colon Ortiz then gave a voluntary DNA sample, which was a match.
Her determined fight and her efforts that we obtained the DNA of her killer.
After Marcotte's death, her family and friends created the Vanessa T. Marcotte Foundation, which is dedicated to female empowerment. United Airlines is making a policy change after one of its passengers was dragged off a plane. The airline will no longer allow crew members to displace customers already on board a plane. The change comes after a passenger, Dr. David Dow, was dragged from a fully booked United Express flight in Chicago because he refused to give up his seat to make room for crew members. Cell phone video of the incident sparked widespread outrage. Under this change, a crew member has to make must-ride bookings at least 60 minutes prior to departure. A United spokeswoman says the change is an initial step in a review of its policies and is meant to ensure that situations like this never happen again. Another popular retailer is downsizing. The teen clothing chain, Rue 21, is closing about 1/3 of its stores nationwide. Around 400 stores will soon be closed, leaving about 700 open in 48 states. The company says it plans to focus more on its online businesses. The bad news just keeps coming for Snapchat. First, Instagram announced its Stories feature has more users than Snapchat does. Now the photo and video sharing app's star rating on Apple's iTunes has plunged to 1.5 stars. Just a few weeks ago, it was 4 stars or more. This is all due to some comments attributed to Snap CEO Evan Spiegel. He allegedly said the app was for rich people and that he didn't want to expand into poor countries like India and Spain. Those alleged comments were revealed in a recently unsealed lawsuit. Well, you heard John talk about the wonderful aroma coming from our kitchen today. Let's get back to Chef Judy to find out more about those delicious waffles.
As I said, Scott, waffles are not just for breakfast. They are definitely going savory, and that's what we're doing today. So we're making our second batch right now of sweet potato waffles based on the Bruce's sweet potato mix, which is really good. And you can see it's kind of oozing from the side, but I'm going to move this over and show you when there. It's just about to get golden, so we're going to let that go one more minute. Now, once the waffles are done, what I do is I just line a cast iron or very heavy oven-proof pan. What we're going to do is we're going to take our brisket, and I'll take a few of the smaller slices and a few of the larger slices, okay? And we'll just dip it in that au jus that I mentioned, and then just hang it for a minute, just so it doesn't get too wet on the waffle. Now here comes the fun part. I picked up a pack of cheese. This is for grilled cheese lovers that love like 4 cheese grilled cheese like me, can you tell? They have an Italian cheese board now that you can buy in the markets, and it's great because it has sliced Parmesan, provolone, fontina. Those are things, if there's only 2 of you, or if you don't use cheese a lot, you don't want to have to commit to spending like $10 on each wedge, right? Well, now for the same price, you can get all these different ones. So in this one, I think I'll use fontina. And on this one down here, I'll use Asiago cheese. And it comes pre-sliced, which is fantastic. And just spread it around. Then what we're going to do is we're going to stick it in the oven on broil. Now, if you don't have a waffle iron, by all means, you can make pancakes. It's still going to have that same consistency. I just like the crispness of a waffle. And as you can see, these came out nice and brown. So what I do is, as we're making more waffles, is I'll just keep a plate at hand. And you can always keep these warm in the oven as well. So that's going to be perfect for when we come back. And speaking of coming back, when we come back, we're ready to take this beautiful dish that's going to be ooey and gooey and just comfort food Monday. Make a little cilantro sour cream to top on it, and then I guess it's time to feed Scott and John. So stay with me. I'm almost ready to serve them lunch.
The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC7. We're here for you.
Sarasota Magazine and PNC Wealth Management present the Best of Sarasota Soiree at Selby Gardens on April 24th.
It's an evening to sip, savor, and celebrate Sarasota Manatee's Best of Winners.
This year will be full of Warhol-inspired surprises, entertainment, and a tribute to those representing the best in our community.
Come join ABC7 for all the fun.
Get your tickets today at sarasotamagazine.com.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
At Bacon Furniture's spring clearance event, we've slashed prices on our most popular styles. Look for the red balloons for the biggest savings. Save 30, 50, even 70% off throughout the showroom. Bedrooms, dining rooms, sofas, chairs, recliners, and so much more. All at the lowest prices of the season. Don't miss the spring clearance event going on now only at Bacon's Furniture and Design in Sarasota. Nobody beats Bacon's.
It's no small wonder anybody loves it all.
I just love art that moves me.
No small.
I mean, really moves me.
Wow.
Sunset Fiat of Sarasota presents No Small Wonder. High performance style. Let the art of Fiat move you.
Taking a look at the national map, this should make you feel very comfortable. To the north of us, in the northern tier states, Dakotas, Montana, they're getting current temperatures that are just slightly above the freezing mark, and that cold air stretches all the way down to Denver, where they're looking at 58 degrees. Of course, 58 degrees in Denver, I mean, that's shorts and sandals, right? For us, we're hovering around the 81-degree mark, which is about where we normally would find ourselves for a daytime high, but still a little on the cool side. Now, with some of that heat comes the risk of thunderstorms, and that's true throughout a large swath of the deep south. Severe weather, though, limited really only to this dark green area, and there's really only a marginal risk there, so it's not a great risk, but mostly for gusty winds and hail. That's coming out of the front range, so you get that nice uplift right against the mountains there, causing that situation. In the southern tip of the state, we have more moisture available for some shower and thunderstorm activity, and so consequently, standard thunderstorms are possible in a line from like Lake Okeechobee south. But for us, I don't expect to see too much in the way of any kind of activity around here. Mix of sun and fair weather clouds for us. Dew points are very low, giving us comfortable relative humidities at this hour. Calm winds, they're in the process of kind of shifting around. We're getting a sea breeze starting to build right at where this particular sensor is located. So I think the easterly wind flow that we have had is now beginning to shift to a more northwesterly flow, and that'll be the case in an hour or so. 81 degrees our current air temperature. You can see some of the clouds building over on the other coast where that east wind is bringing over that basically a west coast sea breeze. And we're watching here, not much starting yet, but we'll see in inland areas the building of clouds as we develop that little bit of a sea breeze activity. High pressure, the dominant weather feature, really reducing the risk of any kind of these clouds building into anything that produces much rainfall. But in the very southern extent of that high pressure's effect, and where the moisture is a little bit thicker from about Fort Myers southward, you can see cloud cover just a little bit thicker. And that's the location where I think we have the possibility of seeing a few more showers around. As I mentioned, Atlanta Airport, Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte look pretty good. You may get a thunderstorm in the vicinity, but it's not going to be anything that'll interrupt ground traffic, I don't think, terribly today. Back to the west is where the action will occur. And as I mentioned, in this area where we don't have any radar echoes yet, that's the location where later on today we could see some stronger storms. Frontal boundary stretches north of this high pressure ridge, which is bringing us our fair skies and lovely weather. That frontal boundary is not going anywhere. It is going to stall out right in place, basically. High pressure sinks a little further to the south, and we see more dry weather day after day for the next several days. Now, the only thing that could change that I can see is that high may sink a little further south and shift our winds from a more easterly direction to a southeasterly direction. That'll bring a little more humidity our way and maybe give us a little bit better chance of a shower as we head into the end of the work week. Sunny skies, warm conditions, cooler near the coast as we get that little bit of sea breeze action, and then dry weather conditions continuing on for the next several days anyway. You can see the very dry air indicated here by the water vapor imagery as tan, kind of exiting the region, and the very moist air staying really back to the west. So we're kind of in between the two on the water vapor imagery. Love the water vapor imagery. It shows you the swirls and motions in the atmosphere and where the dry air is and is not. And you kind of get the basic sense of a general west to east motion in the atmosphere. No plunges to the south. No frontal boundaries coming our way. High pressure, the dominant feature. Watch the RPM computer model rainfall forecast, and you'll see maybe around the mouth of Charlotte Harbor, and especially down to the south around Fort Myers, some better storm activity later on today. Otherwise, dry conditions for the next several days. Temperatures in the mid-80s. Nighttime lows about where we'd expect them to be, in the 60s, low 60s, and then maybe a better chance of showers as we head into the weekend. Back to you, Scott.
John, thank you so much. Drones may soon be put to use on more U.S. beaches. Researchers are developing new drone technology that could save people by spotting swimmers in trouble while also analyzing marine life and warning beachgoers when sharks are swimming nearby. The drones use an onboard megaphone to warn swimmers of confirmed shark sightings and making it easier for help on land to be able to tell if a swimmer is having fun or is trying to call for help.
The great advantage of this is I can launch this, fly over the whole area, and land it in all in about 10 minutes.
This high-tech beach safety measure is already being used in Australia, where sharks are a more common problem for swimmers. Lifeguards who once scoured the coast on wave runners now only need to use a drone. Now to the most anticipated pregnancy of the year. April the giraffe, the viral sensation captivating millions worldwide, finally giving birth over the weekend, delivering a healthy baby boy. TJ Holmes shows us the exciting moment.
April has done a phenomenal job.
It finally happened. The eagerly anticipated wait came to an end Saturday.
We are in labor, 100%, so tune in.
Over 1 million people around the world watched live as April the giraffe gave birth, and it's a boy.
There you have it, guys. We have a baby.
At 5 feet 9 inches and 129 pounds, the not-so-little guy made the most public of entrances. A little shaky at first, you can see him working on his footing as his proud mother watched her calf carefully take his first steps. Labor lasted just 2 hours after a nearly 16-month pregnancy. Sunday was spent with snuggles, milk, and a nap for the baby boy. Animal Adventure Park's Giraffe Cam captivated millions since February, making April an instant internet sensation. Since launching the Giraffe Cam in February, the park says nearly 300 million people have viewed the live stream. For Good Morning America, TJ Holmes, ABC News, New York.
When we come back, we're going to check back in with Chef Judy in the kitchen, and then it's blockbuster magic, the fate of the Furious speeding at the top of the box office. That story coming up.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
We asked you, Suncoast, why do you like ABC7?
I like ABC7 because it's local.
It gives me all the local news. The local news, local weather.
It's so local and so community-driven.
Kelly Wilgus does a great job.
John Scalzi, that's my guy.
Bob Harrigan is wonderful. Stephanie's my favorite.
I like Scott Dennis.
I like them all.
We're all very grateful that you cover what you do and you're here to participate with the community.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
It's the season of savings right now during the spring clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Come shop the Suncoast's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers, or stop by today and drive away in a 2017 Jeep Cherokee for just $18,999. And for a limited time, get America's best value, a new Dodge Journey for as little as $16,599. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
First time ever, this Saturday, April 22nd, 7 p.m. DeSoto Speedway. Koch Chevrolet's Night of Destruction, presented by attorney James Carter. School bus, figure eight racing, the Gunslinger Monster Truck, a demolition derby, and much more. Tickets on sale now. Go to tourofdestruction.com for info. Thanks to Steps Towing. Be there.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Okay, I'm digging in. This is really good.
You totally, it's completely comfort food, but it's a great way. You know, my mom always loved leftovers, and I always said, no, I can't eat it the same way 2 days in a row. So this is kind of like a hot brown. Doesn't make a difference if you're using brisket or you have leftover turkey or ham or all the above. And to make a cilantro sauce, I just had a little cilantro oil that I put in a mason jar for 2 days. Put that oil in with sour cream and fresh chopped cilantro, and that just goes right on top with some minced scallions.
Oh, that's absolutely fabulous dish. And this is a dish the kids would love, too.
You know, they really would. They'd have fun making it because they can pick out their cheese that they want to lay on top. Yeah, definitely.
You know, a lot of the waffle irons do a little supervision. You know,
that's
it's good to work the
Even
kids
my
into the
husband,
kitchen.
I have to give him a little supervision around the waffle iron.
Well, this is
trust
great.
me.
And the recipe's available on our website, mysuncoast.com. Click on the dining button, and it'll take you right to it. Plus, we have a little giveaway.
We have a
going
contest.
on, right?
Sign up for our newsletter if you haven't already. And every week, we will pick a winner for a $50 gift card to one of our local restaurants. So get online and click soon.
Can't beat that. Scott?
Ken and all, thank you both. Britain's Prince Harry is talking about how he handled the death of his mother, Princess Diana. The Prince says he sought counseling 4 years ago to cope with the long-standing grief. Diana was killed in a car crash in 1997 when Harry was 12 years old. Harry spoke about his ordeal in a candid interview with the British newspaper The Telegraph. He said he shut down his emotions for years, finally getting help at age 28 after what he called 2 years of total chaos. Coachella 2017 is underway. Tens of thousands of music lovers from all over the world are enjoying week one of the Coachella Valley Music and Art Festival in California. Some of the big names that have already wowed the crowd over the first weekend: Lady Gaga, who replaced Beyonce, along with Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and other hip-hop artists. The festival is also a huge economic windfall for this desert community. The Fate of the Furious sped its way to the #1 spot at the weekend box office with about $100 million debut in the U.S. Globally, it raked in an estimated $532 million, making it the biggest global opening in movie history. The latest installation is a long-running series, features Ludacris, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Vin Diesel, Tyrese Gibson, and other familiar faces. At #2, Alec Baldwin's debut as a bold, suit-wearing, swift-talking infant in The Boss Baby, followed closely behind at #3 in Disney's remake of Beauty and the Beast. Those Fast and Furious movies just, I mean, what is this, the eighth
I believe
one,
it is.
now?
That's
yeah,
right.
They just make money.
What do they say?
So they keep making
got
them.
another
If you
15?
haven't seen Beauty and the Beast, it is
Oh,
as
yeah?
much for adults as it is for children. It's a beautifully done movie.
Awesome.
It is lovely.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. We'll see you again at 5 o'clock. Have a great day, everyone.